Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, winter, Winternomics.
What up, what it do? And we are back. How y'all doing this morning? It is an interesting morning, so let's see. So a headline that says 3AC might be getting forced liquidated this morning. Pretty interesting. Let's see what happened here. Alright, I think that's fixed. So, I think my channel's fixed. Do you guys see all the super thanks and all that stuff back on here yet? It should be on there now on your side. I can't see it on my side, but I think you guys should see it now. Let me know you guys see that. We're going to do a vote today to unlock a historic show that you guys choose. So let me get that up. So yeah, drop a couple of historic shows that you guys are interested in the chat, and let's pick one for today to unlock after today's show. Tipping stuff disappeared again. Alright, I'll have to figure that out. Not sure what's going on there. Brandon asked, how do you see inflation continue to increase, and if so, how can inflation increase but asset prices decrease? Who said the asset prices had to decrease? You know, like real estate as a whole is going to continue to get more expensive. And stagflation, what happens is that, like, you know, your purchasing power doesn't grow at the speed of asset prices at all. Like, you get really outpaced. So you have no growth with rising prices. That's what really happens in, you know, stagflating economy. Yeah, YouTube was doing some weird shit. They gave it back and took it away, I guess, in another fucking day. So yeah, we're being held hostage by YouTube for probably looks like a few more. Actually, it might be a month or so. So looks like I'm pretty stuck as far as on the show right now. But whatever, we'll try to keep it going and figure that part out. MicroStrategy bought more Bitcoin. Oh my God. Well, the guy's at least you know, committed to his position. That's for sure. Got 116 on the live view today. Is that right? What do you guys think of the set look? Looks like Chaos Theory? Thought it looked like Chaos Theory. Got a call today from a friend. He's selling some property. He thinks property market to collapse from UK. He's seen an article in newspaper. Interesting. Somebody asked for Wrecked Hour as an old show. What are the old shows you guys had? Director, can we put a video on how to donate? If any motherfuckers are buying anything in crypto, all of you know how to send ETH to a fucking address. That doesn't require a video. That's just sentiment things. I see 120, 119. All right. Just got a call that owners are selling houses where I live and have to move. They want to sell before housing market drops and cash out. Very interesting. So yeah, a lot of people are trying to call the death of the housing market right now, expecting cheap housing prices, but there is a housing shortage. You know, in most of the metros of the U.S., you're not really like getting an easier time buying housing. Even with interest rates going up, the market has definitely softened. But the illusion that you're going to get this massive discount and everyone's going to be waiting to catch the knife again, like 2009, I think that's a crowded trade. In 2009, nobody believed that real estate was going to go to that area, and then no one was prepared because they were all caught in the deflation. So no one had the liquidity to buy any of those discounted houses. You know, right now there's a lot of people thinking that they're going to get a chance at like one more shot at that, and that's usually when you don't. Stagflation is very different than what happened to us in 2008 and 2009. So I personally don't think you're going to see prices anything like 2009 ever again in your fucking lifetimes. Rain of Fire show. So I've seen somebody ask for Wrecked Hour, somebody asked for Rain of Fire. Can we get a list going of what shows you guys are asking for from what time periods? So at least I know August 2019 is for Rain of Fire. Oh yeah, remember you have 3 central bank governors speaking at like 9 a.m. in 30 minutes before the market opens. So that's definitely worth paying attention to. Let's see. So one of our more pressing issues right now is probably this, right? This morning, saw this came out. Don't know if it's not verified or anything, but this guy's usually pretty reliable. If this is true, right? Forced liquidation by the British Virgin Islands is pretty interesting since they pretty much don't fucking regulate shit over there. The whole reason anyone sets up over there is so they can get away with shit that you couldn't get away with if you were like, inside USA or somewhere else. So pretty interesting if this is true that they're being forced out because these guys have a significant amount of BTC and WETH and ETH. So we do want to pay attention to anybody else because we know that Goldman Sachs is willing to catch Celsius. This is the other bad actor that's a lot like Celsius that's in danger in the same place. So these are 2 more people that have to come out of the market. And I think Goldman Sachs has answered the Celsius question. And now what exactly this really means is probably pretty key to figure out. But at least we know this is a change of fundamental conditions right now that we should probably pay attention to. Jingle Jam asked, do I think the Twitter deal happens? Boy, that's kind of hard to figure out. I think like there's nothing that can replace Twitter, and Elon like has a reason to get it if he's anticipating a conservative party takeover based on what the Supreme Court justices are doing, what Trump has engineered before he left office. It does look like you get Trump to come back or somebody else to knock Biden out. And Elon wants money for what he's doing, so he wants to get back the voice of basically a party he's more aligned with now. So I think Twitter is like something he really wants more than people realize. Why he wants it. It gives you control of like the narrative of the planet, and he knows that. Where it happens at's the question, right? Because I've seen some weird shit, as far as bot-related activity, and like Twitter has just got a lot of automated bullshit going on in it that's more rampant than ever before. So what the price he's going to pay for the actual network and what it's worth is kind of interesting. Somebody just filed a suit to block his acquisition, a major shareholder. So it'll be seen. I think ultimately he does do the deal. There's no substitute for Twitter and what Twitter gives him as a position in political spheres and in the world. So I think he wants it. Got 150, 140 viewers, 800 people on Discord. So we'll just chalk it up to not being awake or something. But make sure you guys hit the like and all that good stuff, retweet all that good junk, support the show if you like what we do here. USD Mexican. All right, we can check that out. I've noticed more people flipping conservative around me. Yeah, there's kind of a pendulum that goes back and forth in countries, and a lot of times you see in empires when they mature, like nationalism take over and more conservative stance happen. The conservative end of like the Netherlands is the what would be the liberal side of the like Netherlands politics is pretty much aligned with like hardcore conservatives in the U.S. Like their range is pretty crazy on what you consider liberal to like then what becomes like really extreme conservative. The woke thing definitely did go too far in one direction, right? Like the stuff that the liberals are championing are just the craziest fringe end of shit now, compared to where they were like 10 years ago. So they are just like really ridiculous stuff, like putting like grown dudes into bathrooms with like young girls and shit like that. Yeah, they're crossing all kinds of borders that like fucking people who have families are gonna go fuck you on. So yeah, you do definitely notice that the U.S. is going more conservative as a whole because the shit coming out of the liberal side looks fucking bonkers now. Elon doesn't give a fuck about politics. Clearly, you haven't been paying attention to fucking Elon if you're saying that. Elon absolutely gives a shit about politics. Why do I think the Dems haven't given Elon what he wants? I don't know. The Dems are just fucking uncoordinated at this point. They don't look anything like they did like 10 years ago. They're just trying to pick every fringe element and get behind it and kind of play like play that game. I think ultimately there's a shit that fucking the liberals are doing that ultimately Elon doesn't really align with, and it looks like they're gonna lose fucking control of like the government. So where else are you gonna align yourself? But I think legitimately that Elon like is just having a difference of values with what the liberal party is putting out, and he's moving away from it. So I mean, I'll be honest with you, this shit they're saying that like I don't align with. A lot of my I guess viewpoints align more liberal than conservative. But there's shit that's going on right now that looks absolutely retarded coming out of like liberals, and you have to call a spade a spade. Some of this shit just is over the line. Ideologically, he does care. That would be a mistake to think he doesn't. Bodie Sorensen, Kaz, I have a question for you in regards to crash cycle. Is it possible for the complacency price to reach higher than the euphoria price? Boy, didn't you ask that like 3 times in Discord and people answer you that? You're just going to keep on asking it so you can get an answer that matches what you believe, I guess, right? The only time that you're going to see a complacency shoulder be higher in pricing is when it's not the actual asset that the crash is happening in, and you have a mispricing in an asset like connected to the crash. So like ETH USD goes through the fucking floor, but there's an aberration in BTC USD, so ETH BTC itself has a secondary high that's higher in the complacency shoulder of ETH USD, but in ETH BTC, but not ETH USD. So you have like a false break across the basket. You can get that, but that deals with looking at the asset and keeping proper context of like where the crash cycle is occurring. Is the crash cycle in the dollar market? Is the crash cycle in the BTC market? So if you see a higher price on what would be the complacency shoulder, you're likely not looking at the correct asset. So that's probably the shortest answer I can give you. But yeah, just listen to the dudes in the chat. They fucking answered that question to you like 3 fucking times, dude. They told you the answer in the chat and you didn't want it. That's why they're fucking sending you to me, because they answered your ass and sent you the crash cycle chart and you didn't accept it, so they fucking sent you here. So yeah, that's what people do when they get sick of telling you the same shit over and over. But yeah, at any rate, that's when you could have it, and that's when you're not really paying attention to the right asset. So question answered. So we're at 8:40. Let's take a look. So you guys come up with a list of shows. I've seen 2 of them. Rain of Fire and Wrecked Hour. Did anybody have anything else? Or do we have anybody to make a poll for that? Yeah, I'm a dick, but I answered your question. That's why you show up, right? So you guys come back from the past, all you guys from years ago that are popping up. He's like, boy, he's an asshole, but boy, he's accurate. It happens. It's got to be the mask. Um, you suggested dastardly. So somebody make a list. I don't see Burger in the chat this morning. He's usually who does that for us. So all right, let me get something up here. You guys give me some new scorecards. I see a lot of wins inside Discord, so better have some scorecards. I see one new one. Dr. Doom. Your name's come up a lot. Let's see. Everything is slow-mo. 18.6 ETH USD over the last 2 weeks. Been stalking ETH the last couple weeks. Have noticed since Kaos went back on Twitter, I've been able to pay much closer attention across multiple platforms. But overall, definitely getting a lot better at just stalking one target, which I got told hundreds of times, but only recently started to listen to. Started a smaller account purely for my shorter term plays and have currently tripled the account in 2 weeks. Awesome job, man. My biggest errors seem to have come when I got stuck on the 5-minute chart without zooming out, something that seems to improve by hiding my TA before finding a potential new entry so I'm not blinded by the lines that got me into previous trades. That's a good point, right? You can clutter the chart with a lot of historic TA and not realize, since price has memory, a lot of your TA is going to basically run into old TA, and you don't have to keep every single thing on the chart. You can go a lot of your newer stuff, and since price has memory, you're interacting with previous locations that were significant. So you don't really come up with really new shit. You end up just cluttering like old shit a lot of the times. So very good point, and really good listing of all the things that you did here. My biggest error seemed to come in my chart. As always, Kaz, thanks for the help. Kaz, Vicky, and Eco. Some of the trades aren't visible on here due to time frame, and I copied the results over because I had too much TA clogging the screen. All right, very good. So very good, right? It's something very useful for people to see where he got his main impulses, where he got chopped, and what mistakes he made within this. This is pretty huge for anybody who's starting out to get an idea of like where you might have taken trades and where you had ideas that aligned with some of his winners or didn't align, or one where he didn't win, and kind of look that over and see what you get. So one story, pretty good. Let's see. Doom Squad for life. Let's see. Space Cast. I suffered death from 1,000 paper cuts on ETH over the last weeks. And if that's true, zoom out your time frame. You're in too low resolution. So do we have a list of shows? All I got was Rain of Fire and Rectar. If I don't get 3, we'll try to get on the next one. But for right now, I don't really see a list of shows. No Burger for Burger polls today. All good. Maybe wait for Burger to come back and do it then. Alright, we're at 8:46. I saw Rectar, Dastardly, Rain of Fire, Field of Dreams. Alright, we have no one to organize a poll today. Looks like a mess. We're going to have to try that again when we have a pollster. So let's take a look at some things. So this did make CNBC just now. Crypto hedge fund 3 hours capital plunges into liquidation as market crash takes toll. So that looks like that's true then. Kaos falling into liquidation for the massive V, marking one of the biggest casualties of the latest so-called crypto winter. The so-called, you guys ever notice how common that is? Isn't that something? I love how they quote that, right? You know, if you didn't know about it, these motherfuckers will steal shit from you in history and you'll never know about it. But this term, I'll show you something. See if you can find this exact quote. I want to show you this. Really, really pay attention. You notice this phrase? Brutal crypto winter. They use that specifically. Brutal crypto winter. The word brutal. Brutal. Doesn't that look like you know, not just crypto winter, but specifically that word brutal. This is how you can really tell where a piece of shit motherfucker steals his stuff from, right? Do you notice that? Specifically brutal. Doesn't it look really overly consistent, that term? Brutal? What do you guys think? Looks really consistent, right? You ever seen that so often? That specific wording. Brutal. I wonder where the fuck that came from. Gee, you sacks of shit. I know who uses that fucking word and talks like that. Fucking me. That's where that comes from. Years and years and years ago. Like a half a decade ago. Don't you ever wonder where their specific wording comes from? They don't even change the fucking word, you know? Brutal crypto winter, really? Because everybody talks like that. Isn't that funny? Literally don't even change the fucking adjective I use. When you want to really catch a motherfucker and they all say brutal, that's your catch. Fucking Winternomics.eth motherfuckers, not even change the fucking word. Not just steal the winter part, right? That brutal term. And everyone uses it because they know where the fuck they read it. Isn't that cute? Come on. That's fucking cute, isn't it? And this is the original forecast, the original seasonality. They gave everyone this fucking branding of winter forever. Projecting the end date of a crash about 18 months before it happens, before the end of the bull market's even there. This was projected in the middle of 2017, before the summer, for the end of what would be a crash that no one knew was coming yet in the future. But yeah, that ain't their words. Those are my words. Keep stealing, you fucking sacks of shit. Keep stealing. Boy, that's so annoying to read that shit. Anyways, what we're originally doing here. It's always funny how they quote it like it's like some aloof fucking person fucking said it, you know? It's like, yeah, okay. Teneo has been brought on board in the last few days to deal with liquidation process. The person requested anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss matter, blah, blah, blah. 3 hours 3AC is also known, did not respond to requests. So, very early stage of liquidation process, but instead the restructuring firm is taking steps to realize the assets that 3AC has. Then it will set up a website in the next day or two with instructions on how creditors can get in touch to make any claims. So this is going to be an ongoing process across a period here. So this isn't going to like be quick. That's definitely worth paying attention to. That's going to be a weight on crypto right now to figure out when this all gets taken apart. But ultimately, you have like a suitor to pick up Celsius, and we'll have to see how this goes when they put people up to claim it. What do they have here? 3AC defaults on a loan from Voyager Digital made up of $350 million in US dollar pegged stablecoin, USDC, and 15,250 Bitcoins worth about $304 million. Don't see any ETH in that. Financial Times reported earlier today this month, base crypto, blah, blah, blah. So, pretty interesting. Other crypto companies also face liquidity issues, lending firm Celsius. and CoinFlex, who's chasing down supposedly Roger Ver for a $47 million failed repayment on margin tied to BCH, which he's denied. So who knows on that one? But pretty much like, liquidity problems are still abound, and if the Fed keeps doing what they're doing, more of this is going to get uncovered, right? This is what they're doing. They're taking all this crazy risk out of the system right now. And so, we know there's other shoes to drop, and we talked about this with the LTC chart, that, possibly here in July, mid-July is where we do get like things bottomed out. But what we do have is definitely most of the bad actors in a position they're about to get knocked out. We don't see the end in sight for Sailor, but we do see it for a whole bunch of people that are shitheads in the market space. So I think this is important, to see this finally, like these guys starting to get pushed the fuck out, finally. Gemini views. So are you writing all the articles? Nah, I don't write all the articles. They just watch my show and hijack my shit. That's kind of like been a thing going on for quite some time. It's just it's footprint things. That takes too long to explain on the show what footprint things are. But if you read my blog, Footprint of Bias, it's just part of the way the world works, I guess. It's the easiest way to say it. Here, I'll show you something cool. If I can find it fast. Don't know. Let's see. Bloomberg, some motherfuckers. They've definitely been hijacking my shit for quite some time. Oh wow, that's pretty graphic. Yeah, I can't go on TV. Gotta be careful what's in this folder. Now what you thinking? I know I got a good one here. Any second now. Oops, too far back. Probably can't find it while I'm live. That's how it goes. Oh yeah, this is a good one. This is somebody new back in the day. A lot of people like to hate, but motherfuckers who know, fucking know. Predicting the fucking bottom of a crash cycle that hasn't even topped out yet, fucking within 10 days, is probably a call that'll never get made again. Looking for something really specific. Damn, I know I have it too. Dang it. Go figure. I know it's right where I have it, I just can't pick it out. It's not gonna be today. Sorry about that. Nope, can't find. It's worth it if I could stumble on it, but can't seem to visually pick it out. Got to get to my macro. I'm going to give up here in 1 second. Nope, don't have it. My bad. Fed Powell speaks in 5 minutes, so that's probably good that he does that while we do this. Yeah, no, my emoji cycle, everything. I'm trying to find that. Like, they ripped off everything that I posted across the years. It's all popped out eventually inside of Bloomberg. It's pretty nuts. Anyways, we've already seen that before. Yeah, I had actually set that up somewhere, and I don't know why I can't find it, because I've definitely shown it on the show a few times, and now all of a sudden I can't fucking find it when I need it. Confounded Jackson. Alright, well, I actually want them to start talking, so that gives me a minute. So they can start moving shit around with their bullshit. Yeah, I show you like the whole of crypto doing this nonsense across the years. It's actually quite funny. Not worth going into at this point of the show, though. I just wanted to find the emoji chart they stole from me. Can't seem to find it. Unbelievable. Alright, I give up. Nope, not there.
I think I sent you it on Discord if you want to check.
Okay. Oh, is this? I think this is the Bloomberg one, but yeah. This guy that emerged, I think he's emerged inside of fucking inside Bloomberg. But when you see these things out here, this is a direct rip from my website. As you can tell, these guys use like shitty Windows emojis to rip me off. But yeah, any of these things you see are basically based on the ones I did in 2014. But yeah, I have it actually in an article from Bloomberg. I just can't find it right now. All right. Anyways, not important. We're gonna move along. It's 9 o'clock. Those guys should be talking. So let's check where things are real quick, and then I'm gonna get you guys out of here faster than we've been doing the last couple of days because it's definitely taking too long. So let's get, or we'll start with stocks first. So paying attention to stocks right now. Let's get our projection out. So we talked about this. The markets are squeezing. They squeeze pretty fast and make it hard for people to get in. And generally the big pullbacks are dangerous pullbacks. So we were looking for a bull flag to form in this area. We broke it. We gave you guys a warning on where it could reach, which was this little double zone. If it hit, pay attention to it. It could stall things. It stalled it pretty hard. And then we were watching to see that this angle sustains, because this squeeze is effectively just like this one, a potential bear flag. So if we stall on this, which is the first gap range, this double levels inside of a recoil, we want to pay attention. This is a pretty vicious pullback that came off consumer sentiment yesterday. So in Discord, we gave you guys a warning to give a heads up to pay attention to that. Consumer sentiment came out like at 10 o'clock, and the fucking thing just slid off a cliff after that. We told you that would miss. All consumer sentiment in a bear cycle will always pretty much miss expectations on the downside, and vice versa in bull trends. So looking at this right now with this pulling back, we want to be sure of the angle that we're pulling back from, and yeah, we want to pay attention to this morning, right? That's scary. We talked about a couple of things that were potentially in bear flags if we didn't, continue squeezing higher. Coin, ARC, let's see, all these guys. So ARC, they actually squeezed up a lot higher, but we want to look at this rotation, right? The first meaningful pullback is generally where people who, if they miss the squeeze, want to get involved, will go, okay, finally it's my shot. And that's why, like, when markets pump up to the highs, the big pullback is generally the beginnings of your crash, because nobody gets enough of a pullback in the bull swing to actually feel like it's a discount big enough to participate. So these pullbacks are generally very small. The first big one you get is like caution, right? Because if he ends up being big enough, he flags up into a bear flag, and then he goes again, and you have your makings of your crash cycle. So we definitely want to be careful with 3AC popping up saying this shit. Like where he is right now, like a lot of stuff doesn't look good with him, right? I think I have a chart on coin. There's coin's chart over there. So when we talked about a bear flag, let me clean some of this stuff up one sec. There's that drama, that drawing on top above. Right, so this drawing on top, right, is like a projection we made while he's bear flagging. He keeps bear flagging, this blue one. Then this is what we pay attention to. Does he begin to crash out of it and recorrect for a move higher if we're going to continue squeezing, or does he fucking just flat out crash out of here, which is this path? And right now we've kind of got some fundamental news right now that could mean you're going to slide further, and this is pretty weak, right? As far as waves go, we did this projection, we can kill this too. Oops. Alright, we had a wave up, counter structure like this, rotated like the purple one, and now the big blue bear flag. Is he doing the yellow, or is he countering through? In general, seeing this guy come through like, this level is definitely danger, right? This level right here is where he's trying to go through right now. So depending on how the morning goes, this guy falling through is going to rotate this down and, be in a position where you have to structurally do this to fucking prove a new uptrend. So right now, this looks dangerous, rolling out of a much larger bear flag back here. This is a very key spot to pay attention for a couple guys tied to what's going on in crypto right now. MicroStrategy should probably look the same, right? We talked about him also, right? Was he getting to where, sorry, he rotated this angle, or was it a fake break and we're rotating back down for him to take another leg down? Him possibly buying more Bitcoin, like somebody said, being like the most leveraged thing in the fucking market for Bitcoin. He's definitely something you pay attention to if the market's going to head lower and crypto is going to go lower on another liquidation. That being said, then we want to pay attention to VIX things. The VIX, there was a bull flag we drew in the last show for you guys, and we want to pay attention to, right? As long-winded as it is, you're still in the 20s, and a rotation up here is bad for risk assets. So that guy is definitely giving you your first major warning. DXY should look something like this. So there was a danger of DXY. He held this base, and like if he's fucking a bull flag right here, then this could be a higher floor. We get this, more danger. So there's a pieces of our danger puzzle that are rotating into like a position you have to give a shit. Somebody asked about USD Mexican. With regard to the USD strengthening, I guess that's interesting. Mexico, as its own, has been stronger, North American asset than most people gave credit for. He's probably a better play against something weak like Mexican JPY, not against like USA, where everything is pretty strong in the North American block. You trade, you can look at currencies as regional baskets. Mexico, Canada, America, or North America, trades differently than Europe. So to give you an idea of that, really, if you guys have never seen that before, all right, check out like let's see. We'll just use the pace, the yen for everything, right? CAD JPY, USD JPY. Let's make all these guys America, right? We'll make these guys just North America. We'll make CAD red, America blue, and we'll make this motherfucker, just for sake of it, let's turn that off. And right, red, white, and blue, that's American assets. And you'll see like fucking, there's a correlation between just regionalities, right? GBP, JPY, Euro, JPY, and CHF, JPY, right? European bloc. Notice there's kind of like a grouping between these guys when you look at them, right? the performance of these guys are kind of like in one grouping, and then the performance of Europe is in another grouping, and there's a differential between Europe and North America. You don't really want to trade North America versus North America right now. Mexico has got a little strength with North America, and Europe is the one facing outside risk. So playing against like Europe or playing against somebody who's deliberately weakening their currency, like Japan, makes a lot more fucking strength than sitting here trying to play it against these guys. So that being said, even like let's see if they got Euro Mexico. Extend Euro. See, he's a lot more bullish than playing against, say, the fucking US dollar. That's not your best move. Right now, Europe's the guy that's getting his ass kicked. You play MXN USD. That guy's kind of stable because, they're kind of too close in performance. So your better bet's to play Mexico against somebody not in the fucking North American wing. Alright, so that was DXY things. Talked about that, where we are there. Pay attention to that guy rotating. Pay attention to VIX. Talked about the SPY. So the SPY here is gone up, and we've got we've gone up to as high as we're going to get, and we have a bear flag right now just at this resolution, and the squeeze is over. Then we want to pay attention to rotations back towards lows, and what other assets could look like that could be weak with it. They're all going to be the high flying guys again, right? Your Metas. He never really had a meaningful bounce, right? He looks like shit. Pre-market, he's got something going on, so maybe he has some news. Your market stocks, though, will look like the S&P 500. So you do want to pay attention to this. And they all do still look like they're kind of flagging lower, don't they? Like, they're all still, however high they get, they're just not overcoming the last highs. But we do think like we're at a period in the summer that's worth paying attention to, and we're getting the news to bottom the place out. The one remaining problem is the Fed still basically de-risking the market, probably through the end of the year into 2023. That's definitely a headwind for all risk assets as long as they maintain that stance. So that is that. So crypto things, definitely a place you have to pay attention again. Let me see, where's my other chart for him? Not that one. So this was the bounce level we forecasted, and we talked about this, like, this whole push is forming a bear flag, much like this one. How high it gets is the thing. There was more strength in ETH, so ETH actually managed to break this up, and nothing happened here with BTC. He really stalled here and didn't finish this punch out and has flagged back. So what you're dealing with this morning with this guy is either a bull flag, a bull flag that's rotated down to troll party again, and as that guy broke high, right, you got a rotation like that. He's either rotated fully out of this and this flag has failed right here and he's heading south, or he's in a bull flag to rotate off troll party. You go to troll party and up in this range again, I'd pay attention. A couple things will probably get liquidated. You see how big the bar down was here? Back underneath this is probably like your line in sand to watch for the day and what we do. If we get weak in risk assets like the SPY and VIX as it starts pumping, good chance this guy pushes his way back into troll party here also. So there's definitely pressure on the market. It's not that like you can just sit there and I know you don't want to get in front of the train of big fundamental news and kind of bet like that's FUD. Like there are people to blow up, and the Fed is still blowing people up on purpose. So as long as that's true, always deal with this with a certain degree of caution. We still see good NFT projects repricing in ETH and trying to hold their dollar values. That's a good thing as far as the NFT markets go and risk in that space. It's not just a full-blown liquidation everywhere like it was before going into like June 13th over here. But it's still fucking super risky, and if things rotate down enough, you're still going to have to be smart enough to hedge your ETH assets while different events are still rolling out in the NFT marketplace. I know clones are going to do 3D bodies, and they still have a house to reveal, and they're still building, but while the bottom forms, you still have to hedge accordingly. You can get fucking crushed in the bottom formation. Even if it takes another month or two, you can still suffer a lot of fucking damage. So all eyes on fucking troll party if this fucking rotates down. ETH right now, so this was a projection. He did wave up. He got to another level right here. We told you this range 1270 to 983 is a key range from ETH, on the way up. That if he gets through it, would be probably pretty bad for ETH and ETH assets. If we get underneath this level, there's pretty much nothing until ETH goes down to like 630s. So this is a very key spot to watch if we're just going to oscillate and kind of set like a double bottom in this range and blow out a blowout 3AC and not make new lows. That would probably be a very bullish thing, to see what happens. But right now, this is an ugly setup. Right, so definitely have to pay attention to that until it fucking resolves itself. Could it come down and fucking do something crazy and fucking bar out and then set a bottom and come out like this and make a higher floor from here? It totally can. And that'd still be pretty devastating. Come down like 20% still and fucking destroy a couple people again. Or it can go right to the floor if things are gonna get fucking really ugly, But right now, pay attention to what it's doing, Don't take your eyes off things because the bottom really hasn't formed and it can take some time. Like we said, a bottom like this can form and dick off for some period of time and then fucking take off, and it can take a minute for this piece to come in. So that can be what you're dealing with right now. If you remember how we talked about how bottoms form, we look at like the bottom of 2019, you can look at that as a model for like how the bottom forms in bear markets. All right, it takes a minute for like your low point to form, and then all of this shit, your bottom formation that really like creates the ground level for this thing to come out of here. It takes a minute for this whole thing to form. So you kind of got to be patient, If we're dealing with that now, he could still be in this range for quite some time. That's why we drew out Troll Party the way we did. This is kind of what like a bottoming formation would look like. It takes some time for your first initial impact, some kind of retest to really fuck people up, and then come out of there clean. It never really comes out in a V bottom like people expect. So this could easily be just a retest back and not even break this, and just bottom some people back out again, going through the 18s or something like that, and then come back up again. So major line in the sand is Troll Party. So I think that covers everything. Do you guys get all that? All right, I think you got all that. There's a bunch of stuff. You guys get that currency example? That makes sense? Not too confusing. Waves within waves, you got it. So let's see. Max R XLE. I'll do a couple I can to let you guys out of here. Max R. Again, always keep this in context with risk assets being fucking crazy right now. Max R cheat sheet, if you remember it. These are the main zones that we drew in. Had a rotation projection back here that never happened, and the key trigger level, this is still it. This is kind of where you'd want to do it Max R right now. While this is such a shit show in here, I would stay clear of this chop shop, but realize like, he's still holding right because really his major uptrend from here, anything that sits higher than this is a potential, floor for him to eventually do that out of there. But his rotation is still going to be better when he's up here. So I'd say you still watch for this. Same triggers will apply if he manages to rotate up out of this. XLE, think some things are happening in oil that make this worth paying attention to. So we talked about this. Good chance for a corrective structure. When we drew this, exactly what happened is that it went straight the fuck down. Wasn't really like a shockwave sitting up on high. He just pulls straight the fuck back. This dump is pretty ugly, but as far as the bull structure goes, right, this is what we expected to happen at number 7 in the fractal of BNB. This high should create an interaction to set up a box range, and now we've got it. So now we need to see how this structures out. Being a dump like this, we've seen these in BTC a lot, sharp correction. It can sometimes bottom and then kind of like meander its way back up and fucking, do some shit like that. And people are just mind fucked and goes right back out again. So I think that's very possible. I don't think oil is done. And this is a possible path for it. I'll probably leave that on there. That works. That's a very possible situation to watch that. So, watch some of the players in it. This guy dumped, but where these guys are, they're well north of previous systems. So, they still just need to form a range here. This is kind of the thing that usually forms an oscillation before you can get back out of it. Exxon Mobil, check out some of these big guys in it. So he got all the way up here, then he began his counter structure. Like I said, these aren't exactly fitting what I said, but this is the area they should have done it from. And then, Buffett stepped into this thing like a fucking crazy person. So all these things are basically in interesting spots to form flags and still being continuation structures if oil is not done with doing what it's doing right now. So I wouldn't take your eyes off that. COP, all those guys are still interesting, right? Just a major dump on top of like previous highs. None of them are really in structural danger just yet. Next, SLM. SLM. That's Sally Mae, isn't it? So we have Sally Mae. I think we did this before. People probably doing this with the student loan forgiveness thing. So we had this before, huge bull flag here, never rotated from it and got to this high level. The high level is the all-time high back here before the banking crisis. And so we had him back in a projection here and projected for a flag rotation. It's never happened, and he's still very much in this. He's not really breaking down. I still consider this a bull flag against the high. So I'd say you're still waiting for this rotation even still. This has never really got the gas out the bottom that you expected if you pull back, and so I still say that this is more of a bull flag waiting for rotation to go back, challenging highs. Somebody asked for Tesla coin. I mean, looks bullish. That's weekly. Yeah, that looks like coin's gonna die versus Tesla. So I don't think you need anybody to TA that. It looks pretty fucking straightforward. I do think out of the two of them, coin is the guy with weaker fundamentals, so this chart makes sense. Sedge, UMS cent. Sedge. Clean energy things. I don't think clean energy things are any safer than any other risk assets while the market looks kind of shaky. Sedge doesn't look so hot. Sedge. Let's see. Last chart we have for Sedge is over here. So we had Sedge in a big ass box range. I said probably stay away from him until he gets on top of it. And he's kind of doing nothing right now. So I would just leave that guy alone until he gets outside the top of this thing. What was that one you said? USMC. I can't remember what you said. UM cent. Oh, University of Michigan. Got it. What did you just put in there as a symbol? I don't think that's in there. I think it's University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment. I don't think it's in there. I don't know how to find that one. But yeah, I don't think I have that one. Oh, there it is. I found it. So University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment. Let's see. Well, I got some clear ranges worth paying attention to on this guy, huh? Let's stick this buy on that guy. So you can get an idea of certain things with this dude. So checking all the times that the fucking consumer sentiment's in the grave, like the stagflation coming out of the 70s, right? That would be a good time to check it. In the grave, in fucking like coming out of the 70s into Reagan's era, and consumer sentiment's the worst ever, but the stock market's actually rising with a pullback that's kind of really not, minor in the scheme of things from when Nixon's impeached. So Nixon gets taken out down there, and then you're rising through like, when I say it was his name, Jimmy Carter, into Reagan. Gold is going crazy. Prices are rising. People are fucking like, struggling to afford life. So the consumer sentiment is down in the ground. But the consumers are always a lagging indicator, right? They're always late to the party. It takes a whole bear market for consumers to realize things aren't great. So it takes pretty much all of like the end of the 70s and stagflation for consumers to go, oh my God, which is exactly how that works, right? So that's worth paying attention to in the scheme of things. Consumers are exceedingly euphoric before fucking you get some pullbacks. Not a major pullback here in 84. Asset prices do continue to be pinned to the roof. Looking at this, banking crisis things, consumer sentiment was shit here, and absolute shit before you fucking took the fuck off in 11. 11's where gold went again through 1900 and fucking set an all-time high that year in August, and the market took a pretty major corrective dip against it and then went fucking bonkers. So you definitely look for like the consumers to be in the fucking ground for that to be a bullish situation. And we have what amounts to pretty much a small pullback that is reminiscent of kind of like the 70s kind of pullback before just rising asset prices keep taking hold into the 80s. So that's kind of like where we're looking at with the cycle. You know, we have a bear cycle. We have the consumers in the right place. We have the Fed looking to finish their dovish policy maybe in the front end of next year, and then you have most of your bad actors on the brink of blowing out. So you know there's likely opportunity here. From this moment for the next 3 to 6 months to really be paying attention to like a local bottom being able to form, and the risk that we need pushed out of the system fully being pushed out. It's 9:22, so I didn't want to take you guys too close to the bell again. Let me see. I can't get everything else in there without taking you right to the bell. I don't want to do that. So that University of Michigan sentiment was a good idea to put on here. I did some of your currency stuff for you. Fuck. What did I do to this fucking chart? All right. Monsanto, when you look at him, sorry, I keep calling him Monsanto. Mosaic, we have Mosaic somewhere else. Humongous pullback on this guy, bigger than I'd expected. So look for a corrective structure to happen here, and it's just become ridiculous. So that is a pretty huge corrective structure. If he's still fucking, part of the food disaster play, then he's just become a bull flag of that scale. So these are the projections. I still think it's a bull flag where he is. It's just a humongous one. So we can erase these projections on him, but these did work out to be a pretty huge one. So now you just wait for him to rotate. If he's going to rotate from this crazy shit, then the yellow path is what we're waiting for it to be possible. MOS, FTX, Amazon, FTX. Pretty sure there's FTX. Okay. So big ass bull flag on him. They were looking for rotation last time we ever drew him up, and he has rotated it. But like I said, with the risk assets where they are right now, this is a serious caution is advised until a few things look a little bit more healthy. Amazon, probably the same thing, right? He looks like shit. Oh, right. All my fucking TAs deleted because he split the stock. Fuck. Okay, well that sucks. So everything I ever drew in this stock is missing. We used to have a range up here we're looking at that if you got under would be bad, right? And so that's this situation. So if we're going to keep de-risking, Amazon definitely has a setup that looks not healthy for that, right? He looks like that bear situation we saw in coin like all day. So that looks like shit. If he goes under that, I'd pay attention. Alright, it's 9:24. I can't do any more of these guys. I'll get you too close to the bell. But most of your risk assets look like that. ETH and BTC can pretty much use to track what's going on in crypto, the way they look at this moment. I think everything's going to highly correlate because you are just south of 30 VIX. So it's not like things are really like, back to normal risk-seeking behavior. The market starts to de-risk. Everything starts to look like real fucking fast. So stay frosty out there. If you guys, like I said, are picking up assets and metashimas and things like that, understand bailing out of things like that in a crisis will get you fucking absolutely ass raped. You're better off trying to hedge those things and protect yourself and downside risk, and wait till the market like chills the fuck out before you try to get out of stuff like that and you've got good bids again. So still releasing a show. The poll is done, I think. What was the poll? I have no idea. Space Cash, how come they always put capitulation before depression and anger? Nah, capitulation is an emotional response. Depression is where you cry about it. So, no, capitulation comes fucking before, and fucking like, once your back is fully broken and you can't fucking buy shit and you're fucking in tears, that's where the market leaves your ass. You need a moment for all that to happen. So, no, capitulation is a rapid fucking, move in the market, now a heavy emotional response to it. And yeah, people get knocked out, and the market finishes just breaking everyone's back into fucking pieces, and then you can move. Rect Hour 1? There's more than one Rect Hour, you know that, right? You gotta tell me which one. Which one? We have a couple. I think we have 3 of those guys that are fucking locked. Rect Hour won the poll. Which one? I have no idea. Let me look at how many I've got. You guys tell me right now. Let's see. Uh-oh, that did not work. well, that's not what I was expecting at all. Let's see. Why is it doing that? That's what I have. I have rect hour, split division. It says published, uploaded, recs and effects. Plan B, Tesla, that's a highlight. Am I crazy? Because I don't see that many. Rect hour, this one, oh snap. That's uploaded. I don't know. Which one are we talking about? I know I have one called Trend Lines and shit. I don't see it on here, but we have a couple Return of the Jedi. That one is also not public either. There's a couple of those guys. You guys got any ideas? There's a couple of them. Click show all. Where is that at? Oh, my bad. So taking a sweet ass time to load. Alright, there we go. So let's see, which ones are public? Private, that's not. This one's private, this one's private. This one is 51 minutes. It might have collapsed and had to restart. That might be 2 shows. Field of Dreams, that one's visible. Plan B is not visible. Crypto Latex Edition. You guys remember that one? That was a good one. What now, bitch? There's a bunch of these. Damn, I didn't realize there were that many of them still. Not So Safe Haven. I remember that one. This must be a fuck up. Yeah, that's a fuck up. What do you guys want? Pick it quick. I gotta get off of here. Field of Dreams. Someone did mention Field of Dreams. I think it's gonna have to be that one. Where'd it go? You know, I don't see that one. That is a rect hour though. Field of Dreams, I see it. Unlisted. Alright, it is public. Field of Dreams it is, bitches. Alright, till next time, motherfuckers. Plan B. Let's do a snap. We need another poll for that shit. So, oh well. It's Field of Dreams today, so you motherfuckers gonna have to figure it out. Plan B it is? Alright, I'll turn Field of Dreams back off. Field of Dreams is back off again. And you said Plan B? Alright, Plan B it is. There you go, motherfuckers. Plan B. Till next time. Stay safe. Catch you tonight. Peace out.
Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4.
Don't come in yet. Don't come in yet.
That was the most awful communication I've ever
3.
For the show? For the show? Which show this like? No, nobody told me which one. I didn't even know there was fucking. I didn't know there was 5 fucking rect hours. Actually, I forgot.
Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly.